which could activate the citizenry of the country, of the world, to overthrow the shackles that have been placed on them by these very elites themselves. But what it requires is, it requires a steady and complete commitment. And it requires a vast amount of energy and people to actually take that step to get over that hurdle. And while there are a lot of people who may be able to see the revelation of the method, they may be able to make the connections for all of the disparate points that are revealed, there is scant little evidence that this is going to roll over into a tidal wave of change in this country. Real actual change, not the fake change that Obama is supposedly giving us, but real actual change, revolutionary change. There's not a lot of evidence that that's going to happen because there is this lethargy amongst the people. There is this sense of being used and abused as a people, and having our energy siphoned away for so many years that we can't become focused, that we cannot join, we cannot overcome. And it's a weakness within ourselves that is exploited by those who would rule over us. So while we're living in the revelation of the method now, this is the opportunity that we have. We've had these opportunities in the past. I mean, we as a collective people. But we've failed every time to overthrow the masters who are above us. And it looks to me as though we may fail this time as well. I hope I'm wrong about that, but you cannot ignore the fact that you as an individual, if you talk to a random sampling of people in your life, find out how many of them are really passionate about a subject, who really want to know what's going on in the Federal Reserve, who really want answers from the government when it comes to the idea of FEMA camps, who really are outraged at Obama for failing to deliver on anything that he promised, and in fact going directly against much of what he promised to do during his campaign. Find any of those people. See what kind of a percentage you come up with, and do the math. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not a defeatist. I'm a realist. And when you're confronted with that knowledge, what you have to do is you have to work harder to convince those who you have some influence with that they need to take a fresh look at things in order to understand exactly what it is that is going on behind the scenes, what we don't see every day. And when the news floods you with the same banal nonsense that you get every day and never really addresses any of the real problems, none of the underlying concerns that the people in this country would have if they were awake long enough and had enough energy to express what it is that they felt. Maybe they'll see that in a different light. So, there is a golden opportunity that we have right now, and that is that we are in this time frame where the elites are testing us. They are testing us through an occult method. That is the revelation of the method, where they reveal partially what it is they're doing, their plans. Can we come together enough to overthrow that? To say that we have been in slavery long enough? That's the question. It doesn't look good from my perspective, but that does not mean that I'm going to stop what I'm doing. That does not mean that I'm going to cease any of my efforts. In fact, I'm going to redouble my efforts to convince people I know about what the truth is and encourage them to put pressure where they can in order to build up as much possible energy behind a movement to overthrow the slavery that has been put on us. Both debt slavery, wage slavery, corporate slavery, government slavery, all of it. For decades, for centuries we've lived under this. We've finally come to a point now in my lifetime where the method has been revealed. What will we do with that knowledge? Thank you.